All right, we are live. This is Happy Businessing with Suz and Dr. Kristine. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. So hopefully the dog won't bark too much. She made an appearance, you guys. We had a cameo from Ruth Bader Skywalker in my last live a few minutes ago. So if you're dying to see a cute puppy, check that out. If you want to talk about real business shit, you stay right here because that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, the real and the uglies, right? The moments where
Yeah.
you go, oh, swing and a miss.
Uh-huh. And what a better way to do that than for us to be vulnerageous and share our own experiences. So, Kristine and I have known each other for quite a while now. 12 years?
Yeah,
Something like that? Yeah.
really close. Yeah.
So we both know of some other business ventures that we have been involved in and also started on our own at different points in our lives. And so we're going to share what we did wrong or what we learned and what we're doing differently this time around. So you just said something really funny before we went live.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
So, I am into my fifth business adventure at this point in
Wow, I
time.
didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah. And my first one was really, swing and a miss, right? Like we weren't even talking like strikeout. They were like, you just need to leave the game. I started a medical insurance billing company. I was working in insurance at the time. Do you remember?
I remember that
and
now.
And I knew there was a need, and I was seeing all these massage therapists and other like practitioners billing insurance and really struggling. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's not that hard, you guys. Let's just do it.
It's a lot of compliance, a lot of code knowledge.
So I was like, I can do it. I'll just do it. And this is the business mistake I see people make so often. You get the idea, you get the license, you go buy all the fancy folders, you order the business cards, and then it dies, right? So I got to the buying the business cards phase. I think I gave out like 6 of them. Okay. And then I really recognized, and Susan, you have been a godsend in this space for me in this phase of my business with Shattered Glass Leadership. But this is when I realized that the networking, peopling, generating sales out of thin air, and getting myself out there was one of the harder parts for me in business. At my very core, I'm an introvert, and peopling wipes me out.
Peopling. I love how you're saying that.
Peopling makes me, and I love investing in people and being around people, but man, you start like glad handing and trying to shake hands and make deals, and I just go, I'm so tired. Yeah, I just can't anymore. So that was my first round of like, well, I bought the business cards, and then that was it. I think I just threw them away like 3 years ago, where I was like, I feel like this is not going to do anything.
Well, I think that's interesting in how it ties in, though. I had forgotten all about that business. But I think it's interesting how it ties into the work you do now, because a lot of what you're doing now is about understanding ourselves and our strengths. Hi, we see a couple of people watching. Drop us a comment, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Ask a question if you'd like. And a lot of the work that you're doing now, it's about understanding yourself and your personality traits and, different aspects of yourself to leverage that in your business. I have fuzz on I think I have, how I was picking up the dog in my last show.
I think it's stuck. Is it like blowing in the wind?
Yeah. So it's just tickling me like the whole time, guys.
I'm so sorry.
But I think it plays nicely to where you're at now, because now you have a business that really takes those things into account and helps people understand themselves and leverage those things. Me being an extrovert, I actually am energized by my interactions with others. And so it's difficult for someone like me to understand why that would be draining. It's just total opposites in that way. All right. So my first business, you guys, it was not created out of some larger vision. with some greater purpose. It was literally just out of necessity. And I had resigned from a role that I was 1,000,000% committed to. I'd given my all. And basically, the owner of the company was trying to force my accounting team to commit tax fraud. And I had clarified that it wasn't just gray area accounting, it was actual fraud, and that I couldn't be a part of it. So I had to resign. He wouldn't work through the issue with me. So I had no job to go to at all. But it ended up working out because just about a month later, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And had she been diagnosed while I was all in at that company, I don't think I would have really felt the capacity to be there for her and support her and help her in the way that I was able to without a job. So it really turned out to be a blessing, a very painful blessing in disguise of heartache and disappointment and, betrayal. But I had to move to my hometown so I could be close to her, right? And take her to chemo, to help her with the operations that you need. And I needed a way to make some money. So I started a small consulting business, and I was scrappy AF. I would go on Craigslist and look at gigs and job opportunities, and I would message them saying, well, I don't really think that's a full-time role. Do you want me to just come in and, help you out? And so I was able to limp along, and I had like $600 to my name. Because again, I had quit my job abruptly. I had just gone on a big vacation. I wasn't planning on any of this in my life, right? So I made my own logo, which I'm kind of proud of, but no one ever understood it. I bought a domain that was cheap, that was always a problem. You guys, it was Experience Solutions. Okay, I thought it was really cool. And then my logo was like EXP squared, like it's a solution, like anyway, stupid. Okay, but I was just trying to come up with how I could make a logo myself because I didn't have any money. I got my business cards and registered my business with the state. Always got to do that. But I soon found out something about consulting. And that anytime that you start a business that's, really just based on your own time and input, it's not scalable in any way, shape, or form because there's only one of you. And without a way to expand upon your own presence and the people you can actually touch and the businesses you can touch, you are limited by that amount of growth. So I very quickly saw that consulting in and of itself would never be a sound, scalable business. So that was my biggest learning. And, as far as the domain thing, I think I had to purchase experience-solutions.com. Okay. You guys, it was so annoying. Imagine trying to explain that to people. They're like, oh, what's your website? It's experience-solutions.com. What? What is it? Experience?
Hyphen?
Yeah.
Underscore?
Yeah.
What kind of dash?
And then they're like, oh, experienced, past tense, D, solution, no, plural, no D. Yeah. I mean, you can see. So your domain really does matter. And so that was also a big learning. So this time when I started Profit Logics, I was able to take that learning and make sure that I got what I wanted. And I bought everything similar. So I have Profit Logics with an X. I have, I have it spelled a couple different ways. So those are my two big learnings from my first, scrape by, get scrappy, start a business out of nothing kind of an experience.
Yeah, Suz, I'll say when I tried to come back to consulting, finishing my doctorate, I ran into something similar. And one of the other lessons I learned in that space was I found a lot of businesses struggled to understand the return on investment in bringing a consultant in, right? So
What's ROI?
So this is really different, right? Because my husband and I also own a general contracting business.
Yes.
That was so easy to sell. It
Yep.
continues to be
Yeah.
so easy to sell because they
Very
go
tangible result.
ugly kitchen,
Yeah.
pretty kitchen,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Totally.
okay, write a check for it, which is so different than when you're like, no, culture. And they go, but I don't, how
I can't see culture.
I can't
I
touch it. And
can't
you're like,
feel
I know
it.
it's intangible,
Yeah.
but also yours is broken, or, it's a strong, unhealthy culture. And if you're
Yeah.
going to have an unhealthy culture, let's at least hope that it's a weak culture, right? Like there's a lot of buckets your culture can fall into. And if it's going to be kind of crappy, let's make sure it's weak sauce.
Yeah.
Because that's easier to correct than a strong toxic culture.
Yep.
So that was the biggest, like that, my husband's business has been rolling super successfully since the day we opened in March 23rd of 2013. He walked and got his first job doing a patio, although we do look at some of those bids from our early days and go, what were we thinking? But I spent 2 solid years looking at every dollar spent compared to every hour spent on every single job. I have these massive spreadsheets so that we could figure out not just what the material was costing, but all of those auxiliary things as well that you just don't keep track of when you buy 9,000 nails at a time, right?
Yeah.
So those lessons in trying to help people in a consulting realm understand the return on investment when they're talking about things that are not tangible, that was a hard space.
Well, do you have a specific learning from it?
Yeah, get more niche. Get really intentional with who your clients are and know what you do. I think the other part that I went into, I said, I can solve problems, right? I can solve problems,
right?
Which isn't not true.
In Experience Solutions, my first business, my title was Chief Problem Solver, and they're like, what kind of? What do you do? I solve problems. What kinds? All of them.
Which isn't
I do
not
all
true.
Of the things. Because I really did. Like I really am a business like do it aller.
Very diverse. Yep.
But if you get too diverse, people aren't quite sure what to do with you and what results to expect, right? And so therefore they can't see the ROI. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I have a potential client that's in this boat right now. And they are they're at like the 50 employee point. They're doing pretty well. They're stable and they're growing really fast. They're growing about 100% a year growth. And the wheels are falling off with their culture. And so, we're talking about how to, improve training, employee development and culture, and, what that would look like working together on that. And, I got lucky, I think, because this client understands the value of a strong culture and how it has a ripple effect and how important it is. Because, I think it's a hard thing to sell. I think because, they're not going to be able to, they're going to be paying, this amount to me, but they're not going to see the result like that, right?
No.
It's going to take time. It's going to take commitment, investment to it. Everyone working together. And with a project like this, you may not see the results for 6 months. And when it comes to the bottom line improvement, you may not see it for a year.
Right.
Because along with growing a strong culture means creating an environment where everyone can thrive and everyone understands their value, and you're pouring into your team because they're valuable. That costs money too,
It also means you have to pause to solve problems that you may not have known existed.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you have some behavioral problems or some inconsistencies in processes, you might have to slow down or spend some money to fix a few things along the way, either through training or team building or advocacy. And if you don't take that time, then it's all for naught. And so you might even see a dip. You might see a dip. And, when you look at the change management curve, you see people go through like a phase of excitement and then drop because you get tired, and change and intentional shifts in practice take bandwidth, right? And you may not have the bandwidth right out of the gate for people to learn a new skill, learn a new process, shift their thinking. So now you're also creating bandwidth, which likely is resulting in lower productivity for a period of time. So the return on investment is very hard. And if you're not working with business leaders that are in their long game, then they are going to struggle to see why they would spend that money.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I need to do something really quick. 1 second. Thank you. I don't have my mic that I can just easily like tap if I need to silence myself or mute myself. So I have to come over here and go like this. Wonk. Oh.
Now it's just me. Now everybody's got to listen to just me. Yep, we can't. Bless you, I think.
Well, yeah, that's good stuff. So, Kristine, tell us about. Well, we should both. Oh my goodness, the dog. We should both share some things that we have going on. So, you guys, you have some free resources in this post. Check it out. They're all my favorite tools. You get access to them, and you can check out what we're doing. What tools we're using, why we like them so much. It's on the post. You can also find information on how to connect with Kristine and look into attending one of her badass retreats and trainings. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I host the trainings right now in Oregon, but we've got stuff in the works to hopefully expand to other locations in the coming years. But I focus on women's leadership development. Now, I want to really stress that I do not believe that leadership, it comes with a formal title. I believe that our leadership practice can be influenced as we have in our homes, our community organizations, and our businesses. So for many women, this opportunity to rise above and check out the horizon to make sure you're on track with your personal and professional goals is a really super valuable opportunity. They typically are overnights, but if you're local, you can opt to not stay overnight. And again, that's in the Salem area right now or in Scappoose. Yeah, we are looking at some mini retreats coming up in September, but I also am going to be launching a leadership challenge that is virtual, and this will be available to anybody throughout the United States or further that has access to internet. This leadership challenge is so exciting to me, and I am launching it in honor of my brother, who really is the epitome of leadership, and I'm so excited to share this with the world. He struggled through a cancer battle and ultimately lost, but during his battle, he recognized that he felt the best and he felt the most empowered when he was helping other people, and he started an organization called Cancer Can't. And what they have done for cancer patients in the Inland Northwest is just incredible. So my leadership challenge, I'll be offering and launching October 1st on his birthday. So stay tuned for more information about that as time permits. And hopefully it's right in time to finish up before the holiday season hits, so you can refresh right as you get ready to take some time for the holidays and then launch some New Year's resolutions with meaning.
That sounds amazing. Hi, Bobby Joe. How are you? Bobby Joe's gone live with me before. She's amazing. She is in Oregon.
I'm so happy that Ruth joined us again.
Oh my gosh, she won't stop barking. And so I tried just muting and like shooing her away, and it didn't work.
No, she's probably trying to save your life from something you don't even know. You've got some kind of...
She's sleepy. She wants to take a nap, but she's also just... I'm going to get more fuzz up my nose if I keep doing that. So, Bobby, what's new? What's going on with things? Let us know. We'll be on another like 5 minutes if you want to share. It's been a while since we've talked. Oh my goodness, she's making my arm tired though.
Suz, you guys have had ongoing changes too. What's happening for you guys? What's the exciting stuff happening in Profit Logic's land?
Oh my God. Honestly, challenges just with this move. So, I mentioned in my first live that I love your roof pics. Thanks, Bobby. I'm going to post that. Here you go. We're going to show that. Whoop, whoop. Ruth Bader, Ruth Bader. Okay. I've just been distracted with this move and longer and worse than I thought. It's because I cannot get my office organized. All of our stuff is in a cargo container 20 minutes away on the port, and we can't get it.
That's
So
frustrating.
I don't have my lighting equipment. I don't have my right desk. I don't have things at the right height. And when I feel disorganized, I am not at my best.
I get that.
So it's just been a struggle. And, but like total first world problems, right? Like not stuff that you should really complain about. Life is good. We're so excited to be back in the US. There's just been a lot to do and a lot to take on and a lot of change. So.
Well, and if you're anything like me, Suz, I continue to bite off all the pieces, right?
Yep.
Like you continue
Oh,
to
yeah.
bite off all the pieces, and then when things aren't happening, you feel guilty, and then the guilt stirs into something else. And I am learning, this sounds so silly, but because I'm so task oriented, I'm learning to put the do nothing. Like I actually put do nothing today on my task list.
That's a healthy thing to do.
Or you're going to watch 2 movies today uninterrupted. Like I'm putting those things on my task list so that I actually, so I don't feel bad when I'm not accomplishing things, because I just put that on my list of things to do. So now I'm accomplishing something, and it's a weird, it's a weird thing psychologically for me to just go, well, we'll put it on the list then and it'll be fine, because now you are accomplishing something. So that's my tip for some self-care and health for the day, is to find a way to give yourself permission.
I like that. You know, I volley between the two, of where I give myself permission and then I beat myself up. Like maybe I'm giving myself too much permission. Right. And I never know what that right amount of balance is, because I'm always an all in person. Everything I do, you guys, I like go all in, and I can't seem to like temper myself, whether it's a house project or helping someone or, you know, working on something. It's all encompassing for me. And so it's a great strength. It's also a weakness when I don't have balance in my life. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. So, all right. Well, I kind of think we can wrap up. Again, you guys, don't forget, you got some freebies available. Ruthie's about to hit the keyboard. we got some freebies for you. If you guys want to check those out, they're in the post down below in the post. You can also learn more about Kristine, Dr. Kristine, who's right here. She's my good friend, and you can find out about her in there too. And if you're up for it, I highly recommend signing up for one of her retreats or trainings or all of the above. I'm super excited. I get to go to one in 2 weeks. I'm going to be visiting Portland, and I'm going to attend one of her retreats on the floating home. It's going to be killer. Anytime I've seen Kristine do speaking and seen her in action, she's a rock star. So no pressure, but I'm looking forward to it.
This will be amazing. It's a very intimate, boutique-y kind of setting where women get to connect meaningfully. It's not a conference. There's not 500 people. We'll get to have meaningful dialogue and set some meaningful goals and dig into some things that are maybe hanging us up a little bit.
Very cool. Very cool. Well,
yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. We will see. We might be changing our time. We might be tweaking the time of the show just to kind of see what works for people. But we will see you again next week, maybe. I'm not sure, because I'm going to be traveling, maybe a little bit difficult. So
let's just call it then. Let's do 2 weeks from now.
Okay, we'll see y'all in like 2 weeks or so. And thank you very much. Yep. Happy businessing.
Happy businessing. Take care, guys.
Ruthie says bye. Happy businessing.